Hey CJ, let's turn this around so we can see me. I don't have any enough light to see me actually. So there I am in the gloom. Let's put a bit of light on me for a minute. Oh, there you go. It's a bit of light. So it's we're on the beach. You can see woolly hat is on. I've got my Kemimoto electric heated Gillette on, but I haven't turned it on. It's actually it's quite pleasant down here actually. It's not hot, but it's not cold either. And we are on the beach and we are fishing. Been down here for, well, what time is it now? It's about 9:15 now, and we've been down here since about 5, so we've been there about 4 hours. And so far I have had 13 squid, 2 tiny conger eels. I mean, if there was a British record for the smallest conger eel, I think the first one was probably a contender for that. It can't have come from the Sargasso Sea for very long. It was about 8 inches long. I've never seen an eel so small. Initially I thought it might be a silver eel, but it wasn't. It was a conger. Hey Tronics, how you doing, mate? Richard Jarvis, good evening. How you doing? And I've had 2 tiny dogfish. But what I wanted to catch is a few little pouting, because I want to cut pouting up for bait, and it's just not happened tonight, which is bizarre. Might be because I'm using ragworm, and had I used black lug it might have been different. So we're on the beach. Let's see if I can clip this camera up so I don't have to hold it, and we'll turn it around. We'll reorientate it so that it's actually looking at the rods. So just bear with me for a minute while we do that. Clamp it into the clamp. I can't work out how to make this a horizontal picture. It said orientation horizontal, which I clicked on, and when I came to turn the thing on, it said change the orientation. You're vertical. So I don't know. Bloody YouTube is too complicated. Right, that's that. Let's turn that around so you can see the rods. Right, so they're nearly there. And we tip this onto my main camera tripod. So you can see the tips of the rod, so if you can see if there's any bites or anything like that, any activity. Got the rig shark. Let's move that a little bit because it's dazzling the screen, so I can't see what you're saying. I did. I bloody well did. And it's I don't know. Anyway, it's orientated for people who are looking on their phones. So if you're watching on the phone, it's in phone orientation. If you're watching it on a big screen, I'm very sorry, but it's like looking through a vertical letterbox. Rob Smith, how you doing, mate? I never announce lives because I don't like to put myself under pressure, because if we was fishing in socks off here, I wouldn't be messing around with the phone, because I'm filming myself for the channel as well. It's all a little bit too complicated. Put this up a bit higher. Get it a bit closer. Whoops. Sorry about this. Stephen, it's my fishing blog. Evening. Portrait looks good. Be lucky. Thank you, mate. I mean, I tend to like landscape, because obviously it's going out on my channel, and I see my channel on computer or on TV screen. But I do know that quite a lot of you watch it on a small screen, and so horses for courses and all that. I've had quite a good session so far. I don't know if you picked up what I was saying. The squid are in again. The water clarity is cleared up because of those northerly winds. And I've had 13 squid so far tonight. I mean, not in vast numbers, but the last chuck that I had squid, I actually had a triple header. I've never had a triple header before. So I had 3 squid on one rig, which was, yeah, I thought this is bloody solid. It's going to be a monster, kraken, but it wasn't. It was 3, not small squid. They were all right, but yeah. So a bit more bait for the freezer. I'm using squid from my last session on the beach, wrapping baits up with it. Yeah, we've got 13 watching, 2 thumbs up. Come on, people, give us them thumbs up. Press your thumbs onto them buttons. Give us a thumbs up. I have no idea what it means. The other thing that's come over the horizon, which I'd never realised before, is there's this hype button. So I think within a week of me publishing a video, you can, instead of clicking like, you can click a hype button, and it gives me hype points, whatever, and it's something to do with the algorithm. I mean, my last video, I pushed it, I got 22,000 hype buttons. It made absolutely no difference to the video at all. But maybe I've got to get more than 22,000, who knows. Yeah, I mean, it's the top of the tide now. There's nothing going to happen now for probably about 3/4 of an hour, I wouldn't imagine, because the water is slack. Yeah, cheers, Richard. Need to promote this hype button. Oh, my rod tip just had a little red flasher then on the rod tip, but nothing more than something to just touch the bait. It's got a half a herring on it, and a strip of squid wrapped around it. So it's a fairly hefty bait. So I'm imagining if I get a decent bite, and that's going to bend the rod over, or I'm going to get a mighty slack liner. So not just a little touch like that. But of course that little touch could be a big conger just mooching around and sniffing the bait. That's what I want. I want a big eel. I want a big eel or a ray. Decent sized ray. And I'll be happy with that. I'll go home a happy man. But the 2 little conger eels I had, in fact the dogfish were tiny. They were on size 4 hooks, the dogfish, on ragworm. I don't know if you can hit the hype button for lives. Probably not, I guess. Unless you go back and watch the live back. I don't tend to leave lives up for very long because they're a bit boring. Right, if I told you that, I'd have to shred you. It's not dusk here, mate. It's been black here for 3 hours. It's been really dark here. It got dark quite early tonight. It's very cloudy. But yeah, I got a lot of I got a lot of criticism because I put a video out about squid fishing a while ago, and I put it out very quickly. And the night after, this beach was shoulder to shoulder with people squid fishing, and it wasn't my fault because I knew a lot of people were coming down to the beach, which is why I put the video out. But I did get some snarky comments from people, not snarky, sarcastic comments from people. East Yorkshire, was it dusk in East Yorkshire? Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? The further north you are, the sun, I don't know if it sunsets later or earlier. I would have thought it would be the same, it'd be later or earlier. Let's push back here. Look to the east. See a few glows on the horizon from ships out in the channel. But other than that, nothing. And to the west, I can see a bit of a glow, which is the light pollution from Brighton, I'm guessing. But here, it's just dark. No moon, no nothing. Because it's thick cloud. just show you these squid. Let's prove I've got some. There's the flask. Right, the tip lights they're made by a company called Rig Shark. I think it's just a one-man band who does various bits of equipment. But the Rig Shark tip lights are the nuts. You see that flash red thing? They, the tiniest of little bite, and you'll get a flash. Obviously, if it's a really windy night or a very wavy night, you'll get a lot of spurious flashes. But that little flash then would have been something, a fish or something. And the beauty of it is, I can be quite a long way from my rod, so I can go over and talk to someone down the beach or whatever, and I can see if I'm getting a bite. Hi, Shid. How you doing, mate? All right, so you've been asking about tip lights. Yeah. So the tip lights are the mutt's nuts, as they say. Right, let's have a look at these. You may or not be able to see this because I can't see what you're seeing if I stand in front of the camera. But here's the squid. Can you see them? Just let us know you saw them. But some of them are, I mean, they're not the biggest squid you can get, but they're still beauties. Look at that. Beauty. Plenty of bait for the winter there out of that boy. I've got slimy hands now. Right, did you see them? Could you see those squid? Was I holding it in front of the camera? It's a bit hard to say. I don't want to adjust and move the camera around because I'll never get it back again. I suppose I could turn the camera around, put it on me. I've got a light on me and you can see me holding one up. So I've got a bit of light on me there. So it's a bit of light shine on me. Around. Lights on me. Better. That's a small one. That's probably one of the bigger ones. I mean, it's a toss-up either they go in a bait freezer or they go in flour and are fried for breakfast tomorrow because they are nice to eat. I'm pondering on going out on a boat tomorrow because on my boat, take my boat out, just have a little drift around. It's going to be quite strong northerly winds, but tight inshore should be lovely. It'd probably be like this. It's mirror calm out there at the moment. Just have a little drift along my local beach and the cliffs to the east of me. See if we can't pick up some squid. That's the big freezer. Well, I've got a freezer for bait only. I mean, the squid don't take up much room. I put 2 to a bag because you don't want to be taking out defrosting too much. And it's probably about half full of it. It's a new freezer because the wife was moaning about all the bait I had in the family freezer. So I bought a little freezer which is out in the garage, and it's half full of squid at the moment. Don't forget to tell your friends. Yeah, Richard, you're a star, mate. And if you're watching my channel, if you're watching my videos, there will be a new video out because the video this session will be out. Hit that hype button. You can do it 3 times a week. So if you're not hyping anybody else, give me 3 hypes. That'll be your ration for the week, and let's see what it does. Because as I say, I did it last week, and I got 22,000 hype buttons, stars or whatever they are, and it made absolutely no difference at all. I could notice. Yeah, and as Richard said, if you haven't done so already, come over and join my Facebook group, and get on there, post pictures of your own fishing, or just talk about stuff. As long as it's relevant and it's respectful, I don't care what goes on there really. At the moment, there's a few adverts going on there, which I'd like to water down with actual interaction with people. But if you've got stuff you want to advertise, it's relevant, then please put it on there. If you've got any decent jokes, you can share them on there. I've been watching Jeffro quite a lot, because I took my Cornish. I've got this young lad I take fishing when I go down to Cornwall, and his best mate is Jeffro's grandson. And so I took the two of them fishing on the beach 3 or 4 weeks ago now. So I've been watching Jeffro, and it was funny because I was talking to this lad about his granddad and had he watched him, and then having watched Jeffro for a while, I realised why young Jed has not been watching his grandfather, because it's a little bit adult. Yeah, if you come onto that Facebook group, just turn it on so you can see what tips rather than my boring face. Here we go, what tips. If you go onto my Facebook channel and apply to join, there are some questions you have to answer. Now they're not personal questions. It's just they're there to kind of get rid of the spammers and give me some sort of control over who's getting on there, because there have been a few people try to come and join the group, and I've looked at them and I've looked at their biosphere, and they have no interest in fishing whatsoever. And you think, well, what is their reasoning for trying to join this group? And it's probably to get on there and then start spamming people. So so I keep control of it. But yeah, cheers, mate. I can't believe I haven't had that round bait. Got a bite on these two rods tonight. Neil the Eels down here last night, the night before last, and he had about 7 eels. I mean, a couple of them were little straps, but I think 3 or 4 of them were 3 or 4 pounders, which off the beach, reasonable fish for bending your rod. Oh, there we go. That looks a bit more like it. That looks a bit more like it. See what that develops into. That's an eel, that is, I think. Yeah. We'll let that develop. It's a surface from there, so what we want is the eel to get that bait right in his mouth and then turn and swim away. That's the first, what looked like a reasonable bite on that for quite a long time. Because it could be dogfish, just lots of dogfish around. Go on, Laura. Give me a slack line or bend me over. Matt, hi mate. After that little bit of excitement, it seems to have gone quiet. I might wind in the left-hand rod and put some fresh worms on it, because nothing's happened on that a while. Could be there's some free dogfish sleeping on it. So bear with me for a while. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be in front of the camera, so you should be able to see me. And if I catch anything, I'll show you on the camera. I'll also, if I do catch anything, I will talk to my camera for the channel as well. But yeah, let's have a look. feel like there's anything in here. It could be like a tiny little pouch. Another. My God. My God, look at the size of that. If there was a British record for the smallest conger eel in the ocean, I think that might be a contender. That is tiny. That is tiny. Look at it. Look at it. I'll put my hand behind it so you can see some of the little scale. Tiny little thing. Put my hand behind it so you can see some scale. That's a little conger eel. That must have just come to the Saragasso Sea, I would have thought. I can't imagine that they get much smaller than that in the UK. I wonder if big conger eels eat little conger eels. They've got feet on them. Good chubby ragworms. I don't know if they're farmed or I imagine they're farmed, but they're chunky. Chunky monkeys. And the tiny little congreels, love them. That's the third tiny little congreel I've had. Just putting these onto a baiting needle. Feed them onto the hook from the baiting needle. So it sounds good. I've had 3 congreels, but not big enough to lace your boots up with. Free hook kick down, big 7-ounce lead, so I can get a bit of distance with it, and also gives you a bit more resistance when the fish picks up and runs off. It's more likely to hook itself. It's not necessarily fishing with 7-ounce lead, it's tight on, it's big. Simply using a rag in this using newspaper. My legs, these trousers and this jacket stink. Show you these rig sharp tip lights. You can see that. That's the rig sharp tip light. And as soon as you get a bite, it flashes red. Excellent bit of kit. What I might do is have another crack for some squid in a minute. this out. Probably need to bring that other rod in and check the bait because that bite on it. So it could be a bit of eel asleep on the end of that. The bait could be rag, could be a dogfish on there, or who knows what. So let's get this one out, get the other one in and check it, and then we will go for the squid. Check the other one. Well, we did have quite a good bite off this rod a little while ago, but then nothing since then. But as we talked about before, with this sort of line, this monofil line, sometimes you can get fish on there. I've got rods, 8 robbery. The bait on that dongle rig, which I've just brought in, is completely gone. The dongle, the string, I've never seen it so clean. So that has been polished off. So let's get the other half of that herring on there and whack it back out. Squid. Bear with me for a minute while I do that. Or should I chop this eel up and use a bit of eel? I don't know, do you think any eels eat eels? conger rig. It's buried inside the fish. Where's my little hooky thing? That you could see much what I was doing. Turn the light off. Right, Mark. Yeah, I've had 3 tiny conger eels, I mean tiny, 2 dogfish, and so far I've had 13 squid. Gonna have another little chuck for the squid in a minute. See how that goes. If I stand and cast from there, you might be able to see what's going on. Let's turn it around a bit. Do it about there. Cast from about there. Turn the light so you can see me. Don't want to be casting light onto the water. I just see a red light flashing in. Let's go and have a few squid chucks, shall we? You won't be. I won't be able to see what you're writing, and you won't hear what I'm saying. I don't think. Didn't know about dogfish. Oh yeah, I had two. Did I not mention it? I had two tiny dogfish as well. Um, no, I'm not blanking. Many things, but currently I'm not a blanker. That little rod, is flashing a little bit. If I just tweak this a little bit, you should be able to see both rods, and you'll see me squidding. So it's going to give half a dozen chucks with a squid rod. Now I like to have a tiny bit of light on when I'm squidding, not enough to be beaming around the water. With my line going, what I'm using, right, turn this light off a second. Off. What I'm using is three squid jigs on one trace. So on the bottom I've got kind of a thorny shaped one, it's got a weight in it, so it's casting it, and then above that I've got two, I don't know that they're buoyant, but they're just neutral buoyancy, so they sink slowly, and they like little fish, and for some reason I've found the squid like pink ones. Who knows how they're seeing them in the water, because their eyes are very strange, but they do like the pink ones. Let's charge up the luminescence in that one. They do tend to take this middle one more, but then, as I say, the last ones I've got, three, and that's one shit. So, there you go. Where the camera is, there. Oh yeah, there you are. You're there. So look at that, big old fat boy. That's number 14. And he took the middle jig again. Won't be alone. Although sometimes I think what they do is when they squirt it and they get alarmed, that will scare all the other squid off. I don't know, but sometimes you'll catch, two or three slip one after the other, and sometimes you get one and you don't see them after that. Right, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. I'm going to have a couple more chucks. I'm going to do it from the other side because the tide is taking my lines round to the right. And so I'm casting on the right. That's on me. Here we go. What's been said? Okay, yeah, Holderness Coast. I don't know if they're there. To be honest, never heard of them being caught here at one time, but the last few years, they're here in big numbers. Now, it could be that we never used to fish for them, so nobody caught them, so you didn't know they were here. I mean, I have caught squid off the coast here, but a long way out, 5 or 6, 7 miles out, many, 10, 15 years ago. So, there was squid coming up the channel, but whether they came on the beach or not, I don't know that anybody was fishing for them. Unless you're fishing for them, the chances of you catching one are pretty slim. I've had cuttlefish here for decades, but you catch the odd cuttlefish. Or if you're using a live bait or something like that, the live bait will come out with the back of his head eaten out, because that's what cuttlefish do. They grab hold of it and eat their brains, if you like. They're like zombie fish. So Holderness Coast, who knows? Who knows if they're near or not? And the only way you're going to find out is to go and give it a try. Now, can I say that the best chance of you catching fish or catching squid is the water has to be gin clear. That's my experience. You possibly could catch it when it's cloudy, but you're more likely to catch it if the water's gin clear. So you want a gin clear night. It needs to be at night. Again, I caught them in daylight, but they really come in close to the shore at night. And I don't know, 3 hours up to the top of the tide, you start catching. So if you've got a tide that's, high tide is 3 hours after it's got dark, and the water's gin clear, give it a go. And be prepared to swap and change your lures about. So try different lures, because you can be banging away with something and not getting anything, and the bloke next to you turns up, he's got something slightly different, he starts catching fish, catching squid. The last tip is that the retrieve has to be incredibly slow. I mean, from the rod pointing towards the sea to it being 90 degrees left or right from where it was pointing, it wants to be at least 10 seconds of you moving the rod round really slowly. So you're almost, all you're doing is really just keeping in touch with the jigs and just waiting for that little tug. So let's be honest, anything else going on here? Right. So there we go. I had a squid on the live, which I'm quite pleased with. Only had the one. Tide's dropped quite a lot now. I don't know what the time is. I just had the wife trying to ring me, and we are still filming, aren't we? Yeah. Yeah, we're still pumping this out live. A little bit of activity on that right hand rod. Just a little pull on it, a little pull down. Come on, let's have one big eel. Or a ray. I mean, I guess it's probably about 10 o'clock now, isn't it? Can someone tell me what the time is? Alright, 2200 outside, thank you. Yeah, so it's 10 o'clock. So I'm not going to fish much longer. I'll leave these rods out for a little bit, let them soak for a bit, and then when I wind them in, I'll pack them away. I've got some tea here. Let's have a cup of tea. Now I have got a new project. I've got something coming that I've never seen used in the United Kingdom. So we're going to try it out. We'll do an unboxing maybe, and we'll do a test run of it once I've got it. It's not. I mean, I'm hoping it might turn up next week. Um, and I'm trying to get in touch with the company that's importing them here to see if we can't do some sort of sponsorship, or you get 10% off if you quote the code word CJ or something like that. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I keep whetting your appetite. I might, on this video, when I put it out, I might put a little clip of somebody using one in the States. But yeah, exciting times. Exciting times. We'll see. We'll see if it works. If it don't work, I'll be spending quite a lot of money. Right, got dropped down to 7 people watching now and 10 people thumbs up. I got more thumbs up than people watching. So, oh no, back to 9 again. So I'm going to kind of bring this this live to a close now, because I've got to ring the wife, otherwise she's going to start worrying that something's happened to me. Yeah, we'll finish off the fishing. The video will be out in, I don't know, a few days. Possibly, I'm hoping, I'm planning on going out on the boat tomorrow. It's not a given. Depends how knackered I feel after doing this. But and depends what the sea looks like tomorrow. The winds do pick up, but they are northerly, so it means I'm hoping that as long as I stay inshore, I'll be all right. And we'll go and see if we can get some squid and maybe bass. Who knows? But that's the plan. Right, in the meantime, thanks very much for coming and joining the live. Thanks for those of you who've interacted. Yeah, it's been a joy, and I'm glad I managed to catch a squid with you watching, which is the result. Because quite often these lives are deadly dull, boring, and just me banging on talking. I mean, I know that some of you quite like that. But it'd be nice to see a big rod bending exercise before I go. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think tonight is not the night for the big slippery snake. Too many little ones. I have got that little one actually. I think it's about winding them in. I might chop that little one in half and whack that out as a bait actually. Who knows? That might be the secret bait. That might be the secret bait. It's sad that I had to dispatch it. Yeah, it's the sea legs by Achios. Is that Jason Scott there? Hello, Jason. Yeah, sea legs. I've had it a while. It's pretty good. It's not as robust as I thought it was going to be when I first saw them, but it does the job. I'm not saying that what it is. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying. I'll keep you in suspense. I'm not saying. Actually, I have got a drone that would drop legs. I have to get an attachment for it. But I think it's actually legal in Britain to drop things from a drone. You have to something you have to join to get around the legality of it. And I'm not sure that anybody would be. Well, I suppose the trouble is if I put a video out of me doing it, I'm kind of putting my hands up to committing a criminal offence. Yeah, I've still got my salt actually. The only problem with the salt is it was bloody complicated to erect. You know, there's too many bloody variables. It was heavy and it's quite bulky. definitely illegal if you're flying over a prison. I think actually the law about any aircraft dropping things is very, very strict. You know, skydiving. I used to be a skydiver. I haven't done it for about 2 or 3 years now, but they can only drop parachutists in a designated drop zone, or if they're doing displays into a non-designated drop zone, they have to get special civil aviation authority to do that. So it is illegal for drones to drop things. I mean, it probably the reasoning behind that, where we're in such a nanny state here, aren't we? There's so many things you can't do. But yeah, I did look into it a little bit, and it did say, the thing I looked at said there is a way around it, and you have to join some club or association. You have to get specific permission, I think, to do it, which is a bit of a problem, which is probably why you don't see many people doing it here. I mean, obviously in the States. I mean, of course, the other thing is in the States, they're doing it because they're dropping huge baits out for sharks. The chances of us catching sharks off the shore here, other than dogfish, pretty slim. Although smooth ice. I mean, I will look into it more, because I was watching the thing about it last night, and I was surprised that actually the guy was using the same drone as I've got two. I've got two drones. I've got a small one and I've got a bigger one. And the guy was using the Mavic, which is my bigger one, and he was dropping weights with it. So maybe I'll give it a go. I mean, the problem also is I'm a bit scared about sending my very expensive drone out across the sea. A few years ago, I did lose one in the sea. I was filming the sun, so I was fishing, put the drone out over the waves, got a nice angle to catch the sunset, looking along the coast, and it suddenly went returning home, and then splosh. Goodbye drone. So it's probably washed up on the beach here somewhere. Someone probably found it, but it's obviously dead. There is quite a nice drone you can get to get the make of it, but it will actually land in the water, and it will invert itself the right way up, and then you can fly it back off the water, which is amazing. But they are about, I think they're getting on for about £2,000, and I don't even know if you can get them in this country. So they are expensive. Rob, hello mate. I have had 2 dogfish, 3 tiny little congreels, and I've had 14 squid. Yeah. I mean, that's what I read. It is quite controlled. I think you can join an organisation, there's some club or something you can join. It gets around some of it. Yeah, it's been a good night on the beach. It's gone a bit quiet now over high tide. The ebb is now starting to run, so if anything's going to happen, it's going to happen in the next half an hour or so, I think, because there's probably a bit of a current flowing out there. I'll bring that right hand rod in. Yeah. I mean, I had an Ian Golds that I stripped down to be just one for match fishing. But when this turned up in the shop, I swapped it for the Ian Golds, which I kind of regret now, because the Ian Golds was very lightweight and very good for match fishing. I mean, you can see that one's got that central thing in it, so when I'm match fishing, I just put the rod in that central thing. I mean, I've got my squid rod leaning in there at the moment, just keep it out of the way so I don't trip over it. But yeah, they're good, they're not bad, they're very light, they're very light. I mean, if I was going to be hypercritical of them, and they have made some improvements. One of the things they've improved is that you can see the rod holders there. They've got those little tiny ribs in them. I don't know if you can see it, and they are just line traps. So apparently they've improved that. So it's only ribbed on the sides. The bottom hasn't got them. The screws and the fittings are all steel into aluminium, so of course they've all corroded up and seized up. So I mean, I guess maybe with a bit of WD and a bit of fetting, they might get them working again. Yeah, no, it's a good. It does its job. It does do its job. Let's wind that right. In fact, I really want to check both rods, really. Yeah, let's wind both of them in, whack fresh baits out, and see how it goes. And rather than have you watching my back doing that, bored shit. So I mean, tell me, do you want me to leave the camera running while I'm doing that, or shall I end the live? So, somebody tell me what you want me to do. Okay, I'll keep it running, but I'm sorry if it's going to be boring because I won't be able to talk to you for a bit. But yeah, keep it running. You never know. Something like Alan. Oops. Get up there. Baby eel on him. Right, just rebaiting for the last time. Winding these in. This actually feels like the same on him. It is dogfish. I'll get this one in first. It's the quickest one to make and put back out. And then the other one, that little scrap reel didn't survive being unhooked, unfortunately. So I'm going to cut it into a section and put one on the boat. And then that's the secret part. What have you got here? Another little eel. Slightly bigger. Ooh, little pouting. There we go. Happy days. So, we put the little dogfish back. The little pouting trade is going out of bait. We've been trying to catch all night on these little tiny hooks. Actually, what we could do. Big bait out of both rods. From and this little pouting is going to be a conger bait. Little pouting conger bait. Conger bait out of that. So I'm gonna put this rig on with that pouting, or section of that pouting, on a dongle. I'm going to do, I don't know if you can see that. Untangle this. I don't know, whenever you coil these things up in your tackle box, no matter what you do, it always ends up a bloody mess. And I've bought thousands and thousands of them little rubber winder things, and they're all full of crap. Need to go through and clear them all out and start again, really. Untangle. Not a real tangle, is it? It's just around the surface, just working on it. If you want to promote your channels or do anything, do it now whilst I'm doing this. Have a chat amongst yourselves, keep the activity going whilst I'm getting rigged up. Get on board. So there it goes, half a pout in, a bit of squid. Dongle, dingle dangle dongle. Into an imp. Into an imp. Into the imp. Clicked into an imp. Set the lead. Hands up a bit. Right, keep an eye on that rod for me. I'm going to wind the other one in, and then when I've done that, let me know if I get any bites on that if I've missed it. That is a good bite. bait has gone again. The African squid. is a section of baby conger eel with a bit of squid tentacles and what have you wrapped around it. Again, lots of guts and what have you in there. Okay, I'm back. I'm filming it, but I'm filming it, but I don't know if I'm going to fish it. It depends. What I've said to him, he's trying to persuade me to fish it because he obviously wants to fill the numbers up. But what I've said is, I'll leave it to the end of this week and see how the numbers are. If he's got 50 people, then he doesn't need me, because it's a 2-zone, 50 anglers. That's going to be my work is going to be cut out filming that. If I fish it, then I'm only going to be able to film a few anglers either side of me. So I don't know. I mean, what do you reckon I should do, Matt? You fish it and film it, or what? I mean, there's some top anglers fishing it, so unlikely that I'd get any envelopes. You never know. Are you fishing it? Lee Williams. Well, so far tonight I have had 3 dogfish, 4 little eels or 3 little eels? 3 little eels, a tiny pouting, which is kind of what I wanted for bait, and I've got that out now. I've just whacked that out for, with a bit of squid wrapped around it, for a bigger conger eel, and I've had 14 squid. So the squid are back in, because the water clarity has improved with all this northerly wind. Of course, the trade-off from that is it's bloody cold here now. The cloud cover's gone, so the stars are out, so the temperature's dropping a bit. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm after. What I want is something that's going to bend my rod. So either a decent size eel, or a ray, or a bass. Got 2 big baits out now. I don't know how much longer I'm going to fish for. Probably another hour maybe. Then the tide is going to be too far down. In fact, these 2 are the 2 last baits, to be honest. I'm not going to bait up again unless, well, you know, even if I get a decent fish, I've caught a decent fish then, haven't I? So I had a fish bait out on that right-hand rod twice now, and twice when I've wound it in, it's been stripped away completely. It's gone off the dongle rig. The dongle rig has been polished. So it could be dogfish, I guess, or it could be just eels sucking it off. But you know, small eels that can't quite get the hook in their mouths. But yeah, I've got a section of conger eel on that right-hand rod now. The last little tiny conger eel I caught, I couldn't unhook it, unfortunately. It didn't survive the unhooking process. So I've got that as bait. We'll find out whether that is the secret bait, or whether everything shies away from it. I don't know. It's in the water, it's leaching its guts into the water, lots of juices. It's got a bit of squid wrapped around it as well, with added flavour. Who knows? let's do a little bit thing to the camera, my other camera now. So just bear with me. I'm going to sound like I'm talking to myself. I'm not. I'm talking to YouTube. Let's turn that on. Microphone on. I haven't put anything on this camera for a while. Right, well it's the final furlong, as so to speak. I've got my last two baits out. It's no light here. There's going to be a light. So I've got two big fish baits out. I managed to catch a little pout in on that last wind in, so that's gone out as bait on the left hand rod with a bit of squid wrapped around it. And I also caught a tiny little conger eel that didn't survive the unhooking process. It too deep hooked. So I've got a section of conger eel on the right hand rod as bait. We'll see. It might be the secret bait. I doubt it, but you never know. You never know. You won't know until you try. So those are out. They're going to be out for, I don't know, another half an hour or so. And then if something happens, obviously I'll put the camera back on. But if nothing happens, I'm going to say good night to you all. Thank you very much for joining me on the channel. Those of you that came to the live, which is still running, so they can hear me talking. Yeah, those that joined the live, thanks very much for joining me. The live will stay up so you can watch it back for a little while, but I don't tend to leave them up for too long because they're a bit boring. And I can't edit them. So yeah, thanks very much for joining me. As I said earlier on, I've got a secret plan hatching. More of that later. We will reveal that once the item of equipment that I have purchased turns up. And yeah, exciting times. Keep safe, keep sane, keep fishing. I'll catch you on the next one, unless something happens, in which case I'll put the camera back on. But good night all. Thank you. That's a wrap. Right, sorry about that guys, I just had to wind up the YouTube film. I don't always day. The other day when I was, I went down and filmed everybody. I got Steve Kerr was sitting on my rods, and he foamed it, so I've got a wrap round bite, and it's really going strong. And I legged it back to the thing, and when I wound it in, all I got was two very sucked off worms. So I didn't actually catch the fish. I mean, there is a moral to that, is that perhaps you need to leave your bait soaking a bit longer sometimes when it's a bit scratchy. I mean, I watch these top Charlies. They're fishing 20-minute clock and what have you. And I imagine when the fishing's hard, when it's good, when the you know the white in the ear, it's going crazy. That's the way to do it. But when it's difficult, I don't know. You know, is it more important to get a fresh bait back out, or is it better to leave it soaking until something comes along and sits on it? I don't know. I'm no match angler. I'm just yeah. Now the rods I'm using tonight. Sorry, I didn't ask you. I answered somebody else a bit earlier on. They're two Ziplex M4 GTs. My favourite rods, to be honest. I don't know that I do them full justice. I need to really come down and practice a little bit more with my pendulum cast back up again. Because I'm doing overhead dumps. They're going out. I mean, the reel's singing when it goes out. It's stripping a fair bit of line off, but I'm sure I can get them a little further than this. But I do love them. I do love them. They are my favourite rod, without a doubt. They're a pain in the arse because they're quite long. So they're just about fit in the back of my truck. Really, very, very tight to get them in, but they do get in there at an angle. But they are good rods. And one of them is an original Ziplex. The one on the left with the red wraps, the red whatever, is a Ziplex. And the one on the right is a Century Ziplex. They're very similar. ring spacings are slightly different on the Century version. And obviously it's got the blue whipping, and it hasn't got reflective strips on the tip, whereas the old one did have reflective strips. The tip lights I'm using, I've been mentioning them earlier, but some of you might not have been here for that, are Rig Shark tip lights. Now they have some sort of movement sensor in them that when you get a bite, they flash red, which is very good, because the tiniest of little activity on the end of your rod just gets you to focus on it, because you get a little flash of red. I did just then. You know, and if it's windy, then both rods will be flashing red, and it wasn't the one of the right flash red. Now that is the bait with the conger bait in it, so I don't know what that means. I'm not going to. I might pack my squid rod and jig out away, because I'll have one. I'll have a couple more casts with the squid jigs, and then I'll pack them away. I've got 14 squid to go in the freezer. I wouldn't hurt to get a couple more. Tide's dropped away quite a bit now. Right, talk amongst yourselves. Hey, the weird thing is, the other day, all the fish that were caught on wrapped lug and oiled lug. Nobody was using fresh outs did I see catch fish, which is strange, isn't it? And there were bass getting caught, albeit little ones. I had a little one. And normally bass like fresh out, so yeah. Yeah, it's weird, Matt, how that was. Hey, Brighton Angler, how you doing? Whiting bait. Yeah, I mean, I was hoping to catch some little whiting and some little pouting tonight, and I didn't. I've got size 4. I've got tiny hooks, size 4 hooks with ragworm on. I couldn't get any black lug, fresh wrapped black lug. I think maybe if I had fresh wrapped black lug, I might have caught more actually. But the ragworm, all that's caught is tiny little eels, and I mean tiny. I mean they're 8-inch long, the smallest one was, I think, and small dogfish. And then the last wind in, I had a dogfish and a tiny pouting. And so that tiny pouting has been turned around too sweet and has gone whack back out as a bait for conger eels. We'll leave them to soak for a bit, and then my hands are starting to get cold. I actually have got a hand warmer in my pocket. I might turn that on. I've got 20 people watching again. Oh no, it went from 20 to 13, that's bizarre. Come on, fish. I want just one big rod bender. There's eels here. We know there's eels here. And the squid were here, so, you know, whatever feeds on squid are here. Right, just talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I'm just going to go down and have a launch this squid jigs out a couple more times. I don't know that you're going to be able to see me because the tide. Let's have a look. You might be able to see me down there. I'll have a very dim light on. Going to launch that a couple more, half a dozen casts, and then I'm going to pack that away. Fishing with, as I said before, got three jigs on, so I've got 2 up the line there, and they aren't sinking ones, they're sort of neutral buoyancy ones, and then I've got a prawny type one at the bottom. And I did catch 3 earlier on. active and brave. He's not get on very well. It's a bit surgery on him. It's bad. Coming out. Coming out. Inside that. Have another couple of chucks of this and then we'll pack it away. Nothing's happening on them rod tips, are they? Lift rods. Oh. Right, my battery is running out on this phone now, so I think I am going to have to call it a night. Let me just go and have a couple of chucks with these squid jigs, see if I get another squid, and then whatever happens after that, we will knock it on the head. So bear with me. Jigs are jiggy things, aren't they? They jig around, and if you're not paying attention, they get tangled around and become a nightmare. Did you harvest nothing at all? What are you talking about? Nothing at all on the squid jigs. I didn't have anything then. No, not even didn't ever take. Tide's gone out a bit now, but the water is really clear. Still, it's almost cleared up a bit more. It got a bit cloudy at the top of the tide, but I was still catching squid. The water is like gin again now, so I would expect to catch some, but. So we're going to have half a dozen casts, and then by that time the phone will probably die on me. This live has been going on for 2 hours and 4 minutes now. Thanks for staying with me, but it's not exactly the most exciting thing. I did have a squid on live, I suppose, so that was good. And I've had a few fish. Right. So I've untangled everything here. And I'll switch up to it. Well, nothing there on the squid jigs. The tide is dropped quite a bit now. Maybe that's it. Maybe they don't fish. They move off when the tide's ebbing, which is a pity because the water is absolutely gin clear now. Perfect. Might come down here tomorrow night. And I know Neil the Eel's coming down here fishing tomorrow night. Might come down just have a go. Might go for some squid. Or I might go out in a boat during the day. Just have a little drift around the bay here. See if I can't pick up some squid from the boat. But either way, we're going to call it a night now. Thanks very much for joining the live. I hope it hasn't been too boring for you. And as I say, if you haven't done so already, come and join the Facebook group. Hit the I'm going to say hive button. It's not hive, whatever the button is. Yeah, there's a button that you can press. I don't know what it does for me, but anyway. Yeah, thanks very much, and I will see you again, I'm sure, somewhere out on the briny Oggin, or maybe on the river. I do want to go pike fishing actually, but now the temperature's dropping, I don't know if that's going to be viable. Who knows? Right guys, thanks Richard for everything. If I catch something, I'll post it on the Facebook group. If I suddenly get that eel in the last few minutes of this fishing session, it will be put out on Facebook. So, catch you all later. I'm going to end this live now. Good night all. No, I'm going to be pressing the plus sign. I'll start a poll. I don't want to do any malarkey. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Okay.